welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Behind the Anchor. I'm Noah McLane, and, at this point, I feel like I just keep not even having to say it, but we're going to go ahead and say it anyway.
We're not going to say it. We got to change it up.
The legend.
Not necessarily any of those.
And Coach, per usual, first off, how you doing?
Doing good. Smarting a little bit from last Saturday, but focused on Albany, getting ready to go. Big one once again, so I'm doing all right.
Well, before we talk football, hopefully some of this is going to get you feeling a little bit better. We're going to talk about some dancing.
Love that. Love it.
All right.
Yeah.
But this is going to be a segment that I think we're going to have some fun here.
Well, you're opening up some long thoughts right here, but fire away.
Well, the first question I have, which I think you might have already just answered, is do you or have you ever considered yourself to be a big dancer?
Have in the past. Do not consider it one of my pastimes at this point in time, or I should consider it a pastime. So I'll give you a couple of good stories. You want a couple of good stories?
Miami Army.
All right, and I'll go back to college days with none other than my wife, who I met when I was a freshman. And I had a patented dance, during college called the Ocean Motion. You don't have to pay to see that one. And I want you to know that in 18 years old, we went down to Big Daddy's in Tallahassee, Florida, where Leslie's from. And we won a dance contest at Big Daddy's. A cocktail drink called a TMF, a Tallahassee, which you can figure out. So those are the two stories I have for you. Besides that, I think the next dances I'll have is at my daughter's weddings, whenever they might be, 25 years or so.
Well, man, I think your daughter's going to be in for a treat.
No.
She's got the man in the house that's got the dance moves rolling, huh?
I think we all think we can dance pretty good. But when I get together at any family wedding, we all seem to be John Travolta, so it's all good.
Now, if you had to kind of pick out a couple of go-to dance songs, what are your go-tos?
Yeah, I'm looking at some choices right there. I think that, I see disco. There was a time that disco was a big deal, and, Tony Manero, you guys don't even know who that is, but that was John Travolta's big role in Saturday Night Fever. That was a start. But if I'm going dancing, it's just not something that we do. It's got to be big man dance, which is slow and steady and slow and easy.
So you're rocking with the disco, maybe.
Those are two different genres. I'm just saying that you gotta give me a good slow dance, and we're good to go.
All right. Now, is there any one dance move that you think, man, I wish I could be able to do that one?
Well, it ties into one of the few guys that I would say that I'd like to be, Justin Timberlake. How he moves is pretty cool. If I could do some part of what he does, I think it would be pretty good.
So now the last question before we move on to dancing, or before we move on to football, is last week we talked about Mariah Carey.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to put you on the spot here a little bit.
Yeah.
We don't have to get up, but I have a Mariah Carey song right here on my phone ready to go. Now if I play this, you going to show us how you would dance to it?
No.
Even a seat dance, maybe?
Go ahead. Let's see what comes out. You never know on these shows. Yeah, I got you there. We can start to rock that a little bit.
All right, well, let's talk about football here. Man, oh man. We'll have to leave the dancing behind now.
I think that's a good idea.
Let's talk Delaware a little bit.
Yeah.
24-21 loss to a quality Delaware program. Obviously not the result that your team was looking for, but, as we've mentioned with every win, it's week by week, game by game. Now, how do you use that film from this game to kind of move forward as a staff and as a program?
You learn from film, win or loss. You look at our games that we've had this year, and they're all pretty similar to Delaware. Just this one went the other way. I felt that our kids battled. I thought we put ourselves in position to have a chance to win the game, but as always, it came down to a handful of plays. I think you look at, third quarter was really you go back all the way through the game, but the third quarter really sticks out to me. They hit a 4th and 3. Fade ball to the end zone, which, hurt us. You get a holding call on, Amari Walker when Marquise was walking into the end zone, a late flag. That kind of was irritating. And then we had them, on a miracle kick. We're going down, we're down 3, whatever it was, and, we kick the ball off, and it goes sideways, and we get a great field position. We get them to the 3rd and 12 and couldn't get off the field. Had we done that, we would have had probably 3.5 minutes left to go to be able to see if we could have, finished it off and gotten another dub on the road. But, it didn't go that way. It's a disappointing loss. But going forward, it's just, we've got to be able to go win this weekend. We're still fighting for our lives the way it feels like, just to get that chance to meet one of our goals. And if we can get this weekend under our belt, then all of our goals are still alive in terms of championship conversation and playoffs. But I think we secured the playoffs with a win this weekend, and that would put us in the Bryant game with an opportunity to at least be co-champs the way I see it.
Awesome. And now when you think back to this weekend, just kind of, as you said, a lot to unpack there, and you can go back to a lot of different points. But when you think about, miscues, penalties, injuries, all the things that, a lot of football games present to themselves, but especially this weekend, when you look back at that, but also recognizing that your team was able to kind of battle through that and have a chance to win, what's that mentality, and what does that tell you about this team overall?
Well, it was kind of cool the way it unfolded. I thought we came out, we weren't tackling particularly well, gave up a big explosion, but then the defense comes up with 2 huge plays, and we're, up 14-7. I think that, I watched, the start of the game, and, we're moving the ball pretty, I don't know, easily, but pretty effectively. And, Dev, steps up on the first 3rd down and sits there and drives a ball into Tommy Smith. And I, said to myself, oh, this could be fun, because it looked like that was a laser beam. And then, of course, he got banged up a little bit, and we had to, let him recover, and hopefully he'll be ready to rock and roll this weekend. But Hunter, I think, came in, did a good job, very, very solid performance. And, whichever one gets to play this weekend, will do enough for us to win.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
Let's jump right into Albany now, because not only is it an important day for playoffs and, conference championship opportunities, but also it's a day of recognition for seniors, coming to Kingston on Saturday. Bit of revenge game for last season's 35-10 defeat on the road. Just talk about that taste that's obviously still in the back of your mind and probably in the mouths of a lot of these guys.
Yeah, I thought that was a significant loss for us last year. I thought we played, like punks. I thought we didn't play with the character necessary. I didn't think we fought the way we did. I remember being in the locker room, and I said, hey, we're broken, and until we fix this right now, we're not going to, have a good chance to do what we're capable of doing with this team. There was a lot going into that game, but, most of it was us. A lot of it was Albany, and they got us pretty good. I mentioned that this morning. That's one of the things you can pack away as an extra motivator, but I truly believe that our kids are so focused on what they can earn rather than going ahead and doing it for revenge. You mentioned the senior day piece. I think that's, 22 kids that are rolling out of here who've had a lot of victories, have really helped transform the program, I think, significantly. I think 6 of them are walking out with masters. I think 4 of them are walking out with double majors. They've all, again, I think another 4 getting some kind of grad certificate. So they've accomplished a lot on both on the field and off the field, and I'm extremely proud of that group and appreciative of what they've been able to, to help us develop over the last 4 or 5 years, whatever they've been here.
Yeah, big shout out to the seniors. If any of you guys are watching this, of course, we'll have a lot more on Saturday for you guys. But if you guys are watching this, big shout out to you. And as you think about this game being played at home, this is an atmosphere where you want to be. It almost feels like if you were going to lose a game, that was not a good game to lose, but having the ability to come back in front of this crowd, you have that revenge kind of, in the back of your mind, but not present so much that it affects your play. But now your team is 5-0 here. Why is it so special to play at a place like Meade Stadium at home, especially this late in the season?
Well, I mean, it's cool. You sit there and you cruise up the road, whichever that one is between Brookside and the stadium, and they've got the banner and they've got the home game helmets there. And you can put an X through all of them with the exception of Albany right now. We got to get that done. An undefeated season at home is something that we owe our people and our faithful fans that come out, the students, give them that good experience and that good feel one more time. Hopefully another if we're able to go ahead and finish this drill properly. But it's very special, and I think when you look at necessity, when you're talking about having a chance to be a champion, to get into the playoffs, you need to win at home. It's easier to win there. It's nice. It's comfortable. You know exactly where everything is, and let's finish this thing undefeated at home in 2024, and hope we can do that with an extra home game week after that, Thanksgiving week or the week after that. All available.
Sounds wonderful.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Let's go. I've been wishing on a lot of stars lately.
Well, I'll keep wishing with you. How about that? We'll put 2 in there. But you and I have talked a lot about making Meade Stadium as one of the toughest places to play in the CAA. We've seen that atmosphere really develop over as the season has kind of continued to hold true to that statement. And what message ahead of kickoff do you kind of have for fans and also specifically for the Friends of Rhody football?
I think first and foremost is let's get out there. I mean, please, for the seniors that are going through that last game, they've seen sellouts here. That's an expectation. Please come out and support those kids in their last guaranteed home game. The second thing I'll say is, we got to do better as fans. We need to learn how to really get involved in the game. I mean, it's fun. We're down there doing our thing. We need a lot more juice out there. I get a lot of commentary. Not a lot. I get the first directive from my wife, was just on her feet every single second, calling defense, calling offense, whatever it may be. But I've also heard, at times it becomes a little quiet in there, a little bit like we're just waiting and watching a Broadway musical. The football, man, is supposed to be loud and raucous. I think our students are really starting to get the idea. They're hanging over the side behind our defensive bench. That's cool. That needs to be continued to become a really electric environment, and that becomes, putting whatever sound meter up there off the charts, and just really getting loud in there, because that when you play the game, the game's happening in there, but you do hear. And when it's loud and cranking up, man, it gets a little bit extra juice for our guys, and that's necessary at home.
Well, you heard it right there. That's direct from the man's mouth right there. So, Rhody fans, if you are coming this weekend, get loud and be proud for this last home game. A lot to speak for. Now, Saturday, speaking of a lot to speak for, on top of Senior Day, also a Salute to Service Day. What does it mean for the team to honor both service members and veterans along with the team seniors?
Well, we started talking about that last weekend, truthfully.
Yeah.
Because you spent 8 hours on that bus, and I saw the previews on the DVDs for Glory, and it was Tank Battle, and got me thinking about Veterans Day on Monday, and then we had the rare experience and be able to see Denzel in that trilogy. I've forgotten the name already, but he must have killed 75 people in that thing. I mean, it was really pretty impressive. But anyway, I started talking to the kids Friday night about Veterans Day, and there is similarities, and don't take this the wrong way. I mean, football, about playing for your brother, being there next to him, making sure your job is necessary to be done very well to make sure that we have success as a whole unit. That mentality is very similar, but it's, we're playing a game. Those guys in the Army right now, you don't do your job right now, someone dies. So, I mean, there's a significant difference there. So, Veterans Day is very special. I think that, there's a lot of sacrifices that have been made, people's lives, children's lives, the whole 9 yards of, being able to provide us a country and a place where we can go out on Saturdays and be able to celebrate playing the game of football. Thank God we get to go to school, we get to, experience freedom, and all those things have been, paid for by people who have gone before us. And I get concerned a little bit about the youth of America not knowing and representing and recognizing those sacrifices and appreciating them for what they are. So, I've got on my wife's side of the family a number of different veterans. Her dad was a Marine, her brothers, 3 of them were Marines. Donnie Smith, who was a big part of our program for a long period of time, ex-Marine, and all the service members that I've met over the course of my life right now have had something special to them. So hats off to them, and understand that we do play with appreciation for what they have provided us.
Yeah, absolutely. You said it perfectly, nailed it right on the head. And also, we gave the seniors a big shout out. We also want to make sure if any of the you watching at home know somebody or are active service members or veterans, thank you so much for your service. We appreciate all that you do for our country. And now for the players, let's go back here a little bit. When you talk about the significance of having an opportunity to play in a final home game, knowing that a win keeps them in control of, their goals and almost their destiny in some sense, how much just excitement and just potential of desire to succeed does that provide for this team?
I think it provides all of it. To play significant games in November is really what you spend an entire year preparing to do. And then you get close to it, you get a taste of what we've had this year, in terms of repetitive success. Devastated, truthfully. I mean, I shouldn't say devastated, hurt very significantly by that loss. There's a number of kids that were extremely emotional in that locker room. But the ability for them to, come back and, focus it all into another effort to be able to produce a victory that has meaning is everything. And just what you said, the word desire is what it's about. You got to start with belief. A little ball up there says belief on it. But the desire to accomplish the mission is got to be shared at a very high level of every single person in that locker room. And we got to go out and execute and earn it. And that's the name of the game. And we've got to play a very good football team, and we're going to have to play well to beat them. But we do have an edge of meaning in this game. They're coming out to spoil our party. Yeah. We're going to throw a party.
Right. Now, I know this question can often be tough for coaches to answer, especially in a segment where we're, just kind of chatting with not a ton of time on our hands. But if you were to kind of simplify it, what would you say to those seniors ahead of, one of the most memorable games of their careers, not only because of their senior night, but, they have worked so hard to see this program now have an opportunity to do something real special, and they know what's on the line.
Well, I mean, truth is I probably decidedly will minimize that component going into this game.
Yeah.
Certainly I can say how much I appreciate what they've contributed, but their contributions aren't over yet. Yeah. So I'm going to save the tribute to when we finish playing, which hopefully is in January. At a banquet, you guys will all be invited. You'll see it. We'll be able to pay those tributes. We'll be able to reflect upon it. Right now, I think that, it's an emotional day for them. I want them to control those emotions. I want them to be able to put all of their focus into the desire and the focus and the intensity necessary and to bring about the violence that we're going to go ahead and put out there, and the execution that's going to be at a very high level. You know, the best way we can pay tribute to this group is by playing our best game and playing it clean and playing it decisive and play from start to finish right now and leave no doubt. Now, you know, the other team has something to say about that, but if I was sitting there, you know, talking about this group and I've got to do the numbers, you know, I mean, they came into a program that was just starting to turn a corner, and we've turned the corner and then some at this point in time, but still have a monumental task to be able to put our name on that banner in the north end zone saying playoff appearances and champions.
And we're going to leave it just like that. I think
Perfect.
That's the best way we could have ended that. And
I'm Grace Siorek, and today I'm here with defensive line coach, Coach Lazard. Coach, how are you today?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
I'm doing really good, really good. So we're going to get into a couple of questions. So coming as a former college football player, you played at Boston College, you played at West Virginia. How have your personal experiences prepared you to connect with your players in a day and age where building a coach and player relationship bond is more important than ever?
I've been in their shoes before, so I kind of have a good understanding of the ins and outs, the things they really got to deal with on a daily basis, whether that be practice, whether it be weight room, whether it be academics, whether it be, you know, something going on at home, any sort of issues like that. Kind of have a good grasp of those things happening. So whenever they come up to me and they have those issues, I kind of have those experience to be able to give them and kind of help them out and stuff like that.
Definitely, definitely. And now before coming to Kingston to coach, you spent 2 seasons at Nebraska, a Big Ten school. What was your experience like there, and what has it taught you about being a coach?
Football's big, and it's probably one of the biggest places you can coach at as far as the atmosphere and the environment and the things they got going on there. They have a lot of resources, so it gave me the ability to be able to not just coach football, be able to use different resources to coach football. So I was kind of able to take the things that I liked and things I didn't like. So I came here, there was probably a little bit of resources that we were missing here, and I was able to ask Coach Fleming, you know, these are things that helped me at the previous place I was at, and he was great enough to be able to get those resources, whether that be in PFF or anything of that nature. So being able to be around that experience and all that stuff is kind of good.
Definitely. And after being here in 2023, have you seen that grow throughout your past season here?
Yeah. So like just whether it be like the facilities, whether it be the resources that we have, whether it should be the coaching in general, I think this place has really grown since I've gotten here, whether it be, you know, the guys that we have in the room taking more ownership of the things they're doing on the football field based upon the things they have as far as tools in the off season that they can work on, or us as coaches getting better in our game, stuff of that nature. So I think it's been a big jump and a big growth there, those things.
And when coming to Rhode Island in 2023 as a defensive line coach, what kind of made Rhode Island very intriguing for you, and kind of what was the reason that you came to coach here?
Okay, I would probably say comfortability. You know, Coach Fleming is a good friend of my mentor, I would say, Mike Dawson, to where they probably talk once a week or something of that nature. And I trust Coach Fleming. I trust Coach Dawson. And Coach Fleming broke down this place for me, what this place is about. It's a gritty place. It's not like you walk in here and we have every sort of resource in the world. We have to work for the things that we have here. And I want to be a part of something like that. I'm grateful for him to give me that opportunity.
And going back to the energy and the atmosphere, when you coached at Nebraska, a Big Ten school, the atmosphere is huge. With UI's success this past season, and especially with Saturday being senior day, when it comes to the energy and the intensity with the defense and the stadium as a whole, how do you cultivate that mentality through the highs and lows of the game?
I mean, the guys work their butts off throughout the week. So no matter if we go out there, we win or lose, obviously everybody wants to win, but if we go out there, we win or lose, it's based upon the things we do during the week of practice. And my guys know that, whether the crowd's out there or the crowd's not out there. It's been helpful this year to have the crowd out there, don't get me wrong, but like, we're not really focused on that. The things we're focusing on is getting better day by day now.
Definitely, definitely. And with Saturday being senior day, you have built so many relationships with the graduating seniors in your position, such as Wesley Neal Jr., Makai Burberry, and Carson Primrose. What has their relationships and the whole defensive line as a whole meant to you as their position coach?
I would say they helped me grow the most as just not just a coach, but as a man. Like, Wes comes in here and he challenged me every day to be the best coach I can be, because he's going to ask you those hard questions. He's going to be a disruptor, not in a bad way, but disruptor as far as, am I telling them the right things? Am I making sure I have them prepared and all those things of that nature? Malachi Burby's the same way. He came in here, and when I came in here and I'm recognizing, I'm seeing things that they're asking for. My job is obviously to give them things they're asking for as far as coaching, but seeing those two take ownership of this room as far as owning it and demanding the things out of the younger guys in this room, it's been really cool to see. And a guy like Carson Primrose was able to get to work with him this offseason. He came from Sacred Heart. And same thing, he wanted opportunity. He wanted different things as far as, you know, a different flavor of coaching. And hope that I was able to bring that to them. But I'm ecstatic to have those three guys in my room because they are, in my opinion, the epitome of what a leader should be in a football team.
And going off of that leadership, how significant has their leadership experience been with leading a young defensive line unit and mentoring players such as Case Mankins, Kareem Wilson Jr., and the other younger players on the defensive line?
They're great role models. Great role models, all three of them. I mean, they don't flinch. We can be down, we can be up, we can be losing by a little bit, we can be losing by a lot, we can be winning by a lot. No matter what's going on, those guys don't flinch. They have to deal with me every day, which isn't always that easy, I'm pretty sure, but those guys can explain it to the rest of the guys and have them understand, like, he's not really like that. He's trying to get the most out of you, and I think that's huge for me as a coach to have guys in my room who can push out that message to the other guys so they have a good understanding of who I am as a person.
And, well, Coach, per usual, thank you so much for sitting down with us.
Absolutely.
And, of course, good luck to you on Saturday.
Appreciate it.
We'd also like to give a big shout-out again to all those listening, the seniors, the service members, and also our special guest on this week, Coach Lazard, for sitting down with us as well. And make sure ahead of next week's season finale, the Rams will head over just across the town to play Bryant. So make sure you catch that next week on another episode of Behind the Anchor.